Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we went north to Kibbutz Hanita. The kibbutz is on the border with Lebanon, and we'll tell you all about the fascinating story about how Hanita in 1938, one of the first kibbutzim who was built in the way of Homa and Migdal.
So back in the 1930s, Palestine is ruled by the British mandatorial government. Many Jewish immigrants and refugees are fleeing Europe. They arrive to the land of Israel in what is referred to as the fifth wave of immigration, Aliyah Hamishit. During these 3 years of 1936 to 1939, over 50 Jewish settlements are built in a blitz operation called Choma u'Migdal, a tower and stockade. So the Jewish National Fund and the Jewish Agency managed to purchase a parcel of land called Hanita. The problem is that it's extremely remote. It's all the way on the Lebanese border. It's also very isolated. The closest town is the city of Nahariya, which is about 10 miles away. And Nahariya was only founded 3 years ago in 1935. The other problem is that there is no road up to the mountain and no fresh water. So the Jewish Defense Force, Haganah, recruit 400 volunteers, 200 armed trucks, equipment and supplies, and they climb up the mountain. At first, they assemble the wooden walls and the wooden tower, therefore the name a tower and stockade, Choma u'Migdal. This is the reconstruction of the tower and fences. So they would build a tall tower made out of wood for with a guarding position. And there would be a fence which would be made of 2 wooden planks and rocks in the middle. This mountain ridge we're on, well, it's the historic border between the land of the Phoenicians, Tyre, Sidon, and Lebanon today, and the land of Canaan. So whenever a person crossed the ridge of the ladder, Reches HaSulam, that was the sign that they have entered Israel. From here we can see Israel's border with Lebanon. It's actually this fence down there, and there's the patrol road, and it's a paved road, and then there's the gravel road, which is raked twice, 2 or 3 times a day. And you can see the fence itself has sensors on it, so if anyone touches the fence, it rings a bell. And every couple of kilometers there's a military post like that one over there. You see the little cylinder, soldiers sitting there with the antennas. So beyond this fence, that's Lebanon. These are military bunkers. You can see they're not in use anymore. And the border is guarded by Israeli soldiers sitting in these outposts overlooking the south of Lebanon. And if you're up here, see if you can locate the entrance to the cave. It's called Me'arat HaSulam, the Cave of the Ladder. There's a shaft of about 10 meters with a ladder leading down into a natural cave. The cave actually was used by the kibbutzniks as a slik, like a stash to hide illegal weapons and ammunition. And in 1946, it was used to hide some of our soldiers, our freedom fighters that were hiding here after they blew up the bridges down by Achziv, and they needed a place to hide from the British army. The stone building was built in the 19th century on the ruins of an ancient 6th century Byzantine church. When the Hanita pioneers arrived here at 1938, they built the first homes around it, and the building was used as a community center and a library. Later, another wing was added, and the building became the Kibbutz Museum. The museum offers two exhibits. The first tells the story of Hanita and the Choma Umigdal project, the tower and stockade. I think the most famous photograph from the building of Hanita in 1938 in March is this one here. In the center, this is Yitzhak Sadeh, he's the commander of the Palmach. On one side is Yigal Alon. He was one of the company commanders. And on this side, this is Moshe Dayan. So he's in his 20s. Look, he still has both his eyes. So these two men were commanders of two companies, of the 100 Jewish soldiers that were drafted to secure the building of Hanita. They're erecting the tower. The second exhibit is the archaeology wing. There are many exhibits from the beautiful mosaic floors and inscriptions that were found as part of the excavations of the Byzantine church that was here. I hear you guys speaking in English.
Yeah.
So you're from here, from Hanita?
No, we're actually from the Darom.
You're from the Darom?
We like to travel around Israel and see all the beautiful parts of Eretz Israel. Yeah.
So what have you learned about Hanita so far?
Amazing building here, and that tree that's been here forever.
Like, let's say Jews in the olden days lived in Beirut. That's not part of Eretz Israel, so over there you wouldn't have to separate tithes. Mm-hmm. But there was something written here telling the Jewish people that lived here, listen, you're living in Eretz Israel, in Israel proper, and this is an area where you do need to separate tithes.
So Jews lived here ages ago?
Yeah, for sure.
I guess it's time for lunch. So join us now as we walk through the kibbutz, past the dining room. We are on our way to the cafe, the restaurant, and it's right across the street from the water tower. The restaurant is called Hanuta, but they only serve breakfast and brunch, so try and arrive before 1 o'clock. This is a combo you haven't seen often. A do-it-yourself shop on one side, and the other is a cafe Hanuta. So this is Nitzan, nachon?
Yes.
You're a kibbutznik from Hanita, you were born here? In Michigan. So Nitzan and Orit, they run the shop, but Nitzan also prepared a game that you can play in the kibbutz. It's a map or like a photograph of the kibbutz with all the sites of interests and a book, and you can tour yourself and find all the sites. One more thing you should know is that the key to open the gate so you can climb up to the mountain, is at Nitzan's shop. After lunch, we went to take a closer look at the petting zoo. We saw a few goats, and there's chickens, there's ibex. Of course, we had most fun playing with the little baby goats, the kids that were just born a few days ago. And from here, join us on our last visit, our last site of the kibbutz, the Paradise Garden and the Phoenician tombs, the Phoenician caves. Nature reserve. It's called Ganeden. Ganeden Paradise. And we're looking for this burial cave from the Phoenician period. Look a foot. Is he up the foot? So during the 2nd and 3rd centuries, the Phoenician influence was much further south than Lebanon today. And here on the grounds of Hanita, they found these burial caves with Phoenician paintings, Phoenician coffins, sarcophagus, and the walls are painted, which is a very special phenomena, painted caves. So all these glass items and the pottery, the oil lamps, coins, and gold jewelry, they were all found in this burial cave. So everyone, we hope you enjoyed this tour of Kibbutz Hanita in the north of Israel. So if you did, please give us a big thumbs up.
We had a great day today.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and write a comment. Let us know where you'd like to go on our next tour of wonderful Israel.
Bye bye.
Bye. Okay.